The COVID pandemic has stopped the world. 3 companies are now developing a vaccine against COVID. 2 of them are huge companies. One of them is an entrepreneurial startup called Moderna. Hello, everyone. I'm Michael Zeischer, and this is the 28th in a series of short videos designed to help entrepreneurs succeed with their companies. So with that, let us take a look at the title of this video is Race for a Vaccine, an Entrepreneurial Victory. And as you're going to see, it is the story of a disrupting technology by an entrepreneurial company. First, some disclosures. I want you to know that I have no conflict of interest. I have no connection to Moderna, either technical, financial, or personal. My reason for doing this presentation is that it is an example of a well-executed entrepreneurial startup, and you're going to see that it touches on many of the entrepreneurial videos that we have had in the past. So a little bit of history on COVID. Back in December of 2019, in a seafood market in China, there were a number of people who came down with a very strange case of pneumonia, and many of them died. And it became known as COVID-19, 19 for the year 2019. Then by the time that January the 30th rolled around, January the 30th, 2020, the World Health Organization, and this is a slide from them, called it a public health emergency of international concern. In other words, it became a global pandemic. COVID is one of a large group of coronaviruses. If you take a look at the picture, it looked at all of those little things that you have, surrounding the virus. It looks like a corona. A corona is a word that describes, it's a Latin word that describes a crown. So obviously these are all crown-looking viruses. So what you see in here is the virus itself in cross-section. On the inside, you have the genetic material, which would be either DNA or RNA. The coronavirus is an RNA type virus. Then there is going to be an envelope of some type, and then outside of the envelope, something that's very, very important for what we're trying to do here in describing the technology is called the spike protein of the virus. The spike protein of the virus does 2 things. Number one, it allows the virus to attach itself to human cells, and it also opens up the human cells so that the virus can penetrate the human cells. At the moment, and this is the second week of December 2020, there are 3 companies who are vying for FDA approval to have a corona type vaccine. 2 of them are huge companies, and I'm sure that you have heard the names, Pfizer and AstraZeneca. These are established pharmaceutical companies and biopharmaceutical companies with sales in the billions and billions of dollars. The third, amazingly enough, is a startup. This particular startup was created by venture capital. It was actually started inside of an incubator in Cambridge, Massachusetts, by the name of Flagship Pioneering. It was conceived just a little over 10 years ago by a group of investors and entrepreneurs. And I think that it is a great example of a successful marriage of technical talent, which is the one that resided within the entrepreneurial company, the capital that was provided by investors, such as the VCs, outsourcing. So we're going to see that they did a whole series of strategic alliances, and certainly this part in here was more luck than anything else. exquisite timing. They had, or they were working on a vaccine for corona type viruses, not just necessarily COVID, but for corona type viruses. And the timing was right because as of January of this year, the world was stopped by a corona type virus, precisely the type that they were working on. So they have an mRNA, the messenger RNA. Messenger RNA that they make is injected into a patient. The patient sees the mRNA. The mRNA makes the spike protein. The spike protein is then looked at and identified by the patient's own immune system. And this is how we get an immunity, and this is what a vaccine is all about. So this is a last slide. I'm going to give you the highlights of what we're talking about. Again, this is a company that's about 10 years old. They are now have a outsourcing collaboration, in this case is for manufacturing, with another large company called Lonza. And the reason why they picked Lonza is because Lonza has manufacturing facilities both in the United States as well as Switzerland. Moderna has a US facility in Massachusetts that can produce 100 million doses per year, but they need to make a global production of 1 billion. And this is where Lonza comes in. And this actually has geopolitical implications because whichever country is able and capable of producing large amounts of vaccine and vaccinate their citizens will actually, from a financial point of view, recover first. Thank you very much. If you go to www.zeicherinstitute.com, you will see our webpage. We have 10 easy to follow recorded lectures complemented by hundreds of slides. If you purchase the online course, you will receive a complimentary copy of the complete transcript as a PDF. So you don't have to start writing anything. Everything about the course will be at your fingertips, thus allowing you to make a copy of the transcript. And in the website, you will find the entire lecture number 1 as a free gift, which is about 30 minutes in duration. So please do that, and I wish you the best of luck as an entrepreneur.